Welcome back to my garden. I'm afraid I'm going to have a bit of a rant. You might say, what's new? And it's, I suppose, a rant covering similar territory that I've covered before. And if you watch this channel, perhaps there'll be a bit of a sympathetic nod, or alternatively, your view time will be shorter than usual. Never mind, I feel I need to say something. And the thing that's provoked me is an advert that I've been flooded with on YouTube. Why they think the algorithm believes I am the person that needs to see this 50 times a day, I don't know, but it does. And it's that same Brazilian actor. Now, if you've watched, if you're a regular viewer, some weeks ago I launched into a series on the comfort zone because there was a very annoying advert where this well-known Brazilian actor spoke about how he likes to leave his comfort zone. And nothing could be further from the truth. Well, this week, the adverts that I've been watching ad nauseum, pardon the pun, he doesn't utter a word, actually. Let me describe it. So our intrepid hero drives up to a luxury hotel. His door is opened. He didn't drive. His chauffeur drove. Out he strides the limousine, starts walking towards the reception area, purposefully, very well dressed, a sort of Italian chic, if you know what I mean. As he's striding down the passageway or concourse, he slowly takes off his aviator sunglasses, has a purposeful stare, gets to the desk and pulls out his credit card, and suddenly everyone is watching him. Beautiful women give a knowing glance. People look up from whatever they're doing. A sort of slightly smug smile flickers across his face. I don't think it's meant to be smug, but that's how it seems to me. Because, and this is the whole point, he is using a Visa. I don't know. I know it's Visa. That seems to stick with me. But is it an XP card? Who the hell knows? And there's another one. You watch that maybe 2 or 3 times in a cycle. And then there's a shorter one where, again, he says nothing but has a sort of knowing glance and a smile. And I just find this repulsive. That's the word. As I say, I do apologise for the rant. But it's this idea that the thing you need to aspire to in the world is to own the right sort of credit card. And as is always the case, whether it is the universe conspiring with me, gently providing answers where I'm in need of them, who knows? Again, I'm at a bit of a sort of flabbergasted loss for words today. But this week, a couple of days ago probably, once again one of my newsletter people was quoting that famous sort of mimic, is it an aphorism? I don't know. Forgive me. But it's, we spend our lives, no, not spend our lives. We spend money that we don't have to buy things that we don't want or need to impress people that we don't actually even like. Something like that. And I'm sure you have seen a similar sort of witty observation of the futility of modern middle-class existence. Because it is a fairly general Western phenomenon. And these sort of adverts, this immersive deluge of programming, it is hard to deal with. I'm not sure what the solution is, or perhaps I am, but it's hard to carry it out. And this is of course a video where the fact that you're watching it, as certainly if you're a subscriber, probably means that you think much as I do, and you see the sort of desperateness of this picture I'm painting. I'm starting to read a book which I believe, and that author really does escape me, I'm going to guess Susan Ordell, but I could be wrong. And the book, I believe, is entitled How to Do Nothing. And this lady is maybe a creative writing or literature professor at some university in perhaps the Bay Area, San Francisco, thereabouts. I think she's also a writer of other things. And the book is, I believe, if memory serves me correctly, because it's a long time since I sort of heard about it, so I might have this all wrong, was born out of thoughts that she had sitting in a well-known rose garden in, I believe, San Francisco. Again, I could be wrong. And the opening sentence is, the introduction is, and I'm trying to recall an exact quote, the hardest thing in the world, the hardest thing to do in the world is nothing. And I think the book, certainly this is the angle that a recent reference to it sort of gave. The book is all about, well, it's how to do nothing, but it's all about resisting the attention economy. And the attention economy is much more than just a sinister grab for your money. It's a grab for everything. Your money, and consequently power over you, and your, first your money, then your very thoughts. And this week there have been more disturbing bits of news. I won't go into them. You can pick and choose according to your own particular persuasion. But in my sort of world, my algorithmic world, there are a lot of people talking about how the first sort of stage of a move towards totalitarianism, authoritarianism, is to undermine our notion of truth. And we do that by destabilizing the sort of traditional purveyors of truth, academic institutions, newspapers, things like that. And once people have no confidence in those institutions, well, they have no confidence in anything. They are easy victims for manipulation. And this kind of goes hand in hand with this economic manipulation that I'm talking about, and the need to somehow disconnect. And somewhere I read an observation on this book that it's this idea of doing nothing is a revolutionary act, not a sort of Molotov cocktail type of revolution, but a quiet, silent revolution. Resolution as well, I guess. I was tongue-tied. I mean, I say all of this, and it sounds like I'm in a bit of a mental stew, and I don't want you to feel that way. Actually, it's been a very productive week. I've had wonderful visits to my gallery, and those are always very inspiring. Some interesting people. A Brazilian lady who now lives in France. She runs an NGO that sort of a circus school that takes the circus to the sort of periphery, the housing projects, disenfranchised young people, things like that, and very inspiring sort of stuff. And she's back in Brazil visiting her sister, a friend of mine, and this time she's come with some friends of hers, a French couple who are both artists, and an English lady who acted as a translator for me. Lovely visit. And they were very impressed with what's going on in the gallery, and we were talking about art careers, and I guess I reached a point where I was saying, we were talking about exhibiting the work, and I think that came up because some of my pieces are in an exhibition at the moment. But I was saying that really, I want people to come here to visit the work. I want to be part of this community. Is that the most financially astute strategy? Probably not, although it might be actually. That's a story for another day. But it doesn't matter because I am fine. I'm not suffering. I'm not a starving artist in some hovel in Paris in the 1920s, desperately selling their furniture to buy the next canvas to make a masterpiece that is impossible to sell until they make a breakthrough or die penniless in the gutter. That is not my life at all. My life is remarkably good. And if you're watching this video, as I so often say, quite possibly yours is too, with a little bit of reflection. We all have our problems and challenges, and some of them are enormous and weighty, and we have to bear them with good grace and great strength of character. But on the whole, if you're watching this channel, your life probably is very good compared to the world average. But it would be a lot better, mine, yours, if we were able to disentangle ourselves more from these tentacles. This is not a new topic. I've spoken about this before. You might be watching this thinking, bloody hell, Neil, stuck record, do something about it. But I think I am. I think things are moving forward. As I said to our visitors, we've been here now more than 11 years. And enormous progress has been made, and I look forward to the next 11 and a bit years where more enormous progress will be made. And then I will be approaching my 70s, and if I do the right things and play my cards right, have a bit of luck, touch wood, I will still be in fine fettle, and life will be good. But a kind of breaking away from the evil grasp of the attention economy will be a big part in that, I suspect. So there we are. My apologies if that was a bit of a rant, but that's life. And let me know what you think in the comments below. Otherwise, I trust your life is irritation-free. You don't have annoying Brazilian actors trying to lure you into a credit card that you neither want nor need. So, until next week, from a sunny Brazil, ciao.